Bird is trying to, well, look, she's been very fair about Caitlin Clark most of the year, but this is ridiculous. Guys keep calling that punishment basketball plays, then your league doesn't know basketball, all right? There's
standpoint, and yet those statements have been
fan base that came in, they will check every one of their hating asses every single time. Sue Bird. I mean, honestly, she's and in part, I think she's trying to get Diana. The WNBA is an unpopular league because that's right as well. People just want to watch basketball.
The host's frustration here is real and worth understanding in context. He's reacting to genuine comments Sue Bird made on her A Touch More podcast, and he's connecting it to Diana Taurasi's famous 2024 Reality is Coming comment, which was a real, widely covered moment ahead of Clark's rookie season.
Just really speaks to the issue, which is at times people have been negative towards some of these rookies, right? From a basketball standpoint. They have been critical from a basketball standpoint. And yet those statements have been just blanket statements on how an entire group of people feel. That is what is really, really troubling for me. What you see in men's sports at times.
Framing Bird as covering for her homegirl is strong, opinionated language. Worth noting up front that this is the host's characterization, and it's fair to hold that interpretation up against Bird's actual, more detailed quote later in the video before deciding how accurate it is.
For one, mugging your number one cash cow, the one player that can drag your league into legitimacy, I don't think is probably a great business decision by all these hating-ass females. But that's where we're at. And Sue Bird is trying to, well, look, she's been very fair about Caitlin Clark most of the year, but this is ridiculous.
The point about new fans coming from other major sports is real cultural context. The WNBA has genuinely seen a significant influx of new viewers since Clark's arrival, a well-documented shift in the league's audience composition.
Sky game? I don't get it. It's crazy. Even worse, they got new fans in, and they're treating the new fans like they're stupid and don't have a basketball IQ. I don't want to hear that shit. I've been watching basketball since I was 6. I'm 50 years old nearly. I mean, God, I came up through the bad boy Pistons and the Bulls and the Pacers, Knicks, Hornets. Those were wars.
These specific incidents are real and independently confirmed. Angel Reese's clothesline-style foul and Kennedy Carter's forearm shiver on Clark both happened, drew real flagrant foul reviews, and were extensively covered by sports media at the time, not exaggerated or invented for this video.
Hating on Caitlin. That's really what happened. That's where it started, that we must just dislike her, that we look at her side-eyed, that we don't want her to come in the WNBA and be successful, that we're hating on her, right?
We didn't cause that narrative. And she's trying, I'm going to tell you, she's trying to blame fans too here. And no, it's on your players to act responsible and act professional on a basketball court. And look, the one thing I'll give about the new fan base that came in, they will check every one of their hate.
Diamond DeShield's hard foul on Clark is also real and well documented. It happened during a real August 2024 game, was upgraded to a flagrant foul, and generated real controversy that's been covered extensively, including by outlets discussing DeShield's own experience with online harassment afterward.
She's gaslighting fans, plain and simple. She's blowing smoke straight up your keister about the narrative surrounding Caitlin Clark. Now, I will say this. I do think Diana Taurasi, she's largely responsible for a lot of this hate I think that Caitlin Clark is getting because she got the ball rolling. Remember Reality Check? And then, of course, Caitlin Clark promptly reality checked Diana Taurasi's dinosaur ass back into the previous century. Or would it be, I don't know.
Now here's Sue Bird's actual quote, which deserves to be heard in full. She says Taurasi has been so complimentary of Caitlin since, and that her real concern is with how criticism of rookies, from a basketball standpoint, gets turned into blanket statements on how an entire group of people feel. That's a more specific, nuanced claim than simply denying anything happened.
I mean, it's ridiculous. And like I said, Sue Bird has not hated on Caitlin Clark at all this year. But she's full of it. I mean, they are literally not, they surely cannot not know what's going on in this league.
Bird's comparison to Dillon Brooks and Draymond Green is real and accurately quoted. Her actual point is that when individual male players have contentious moments with opponents, nobody concludes an entire league hates that opponent, which is a fair, specific argument about how narratives generalize individual incidents.
I didn't run out on the court and give Caitlin Clark a damn clothesline. I didn't give her a Stan Hansen, a Barry Windham from 1987, Adam Page. I didn't do that. That wasn't my flying lariat in the Chicago Sky game. I don't get it. It's crazy. Even worse, they got new fans in, and they're treating the new fans like they're stupid and don't have a basketball IQ. I don't want to hear that shit. I've been watching basketball since I was 6. I'm 50 years old nearly. I mean, God, I came up through the...
And here's the core of Bird's real argument. She says once Taurasi's comments went viral, it led to the Twitter trolls and bots taking over, creating this narrative of petty jealous players hating on Caitlin. That's a claim about how a broad narrative formed and spread, not a claim that no physical incidents ever happened.
This is ridiculous. All right? None of this is fake. We didn't make up, Angel Reese clotheslining Caitlin Clark or Kennedy Carter with the forearm shiver, WWE style. By the way, calling Caitlin Clark a bitch while doing it.
Bird's real position on accountability is also worth including. She explicitly says it's on your players to act responsible and act professional on a basketball court, which directly complicates any framing that she's simply excusing player behavior.
I mean, honestly, she's, and in part, I think she's trying to get Diana Taurasi out of some shit. Nah, we're not going to do that. This guy says, did she address what Gino said? Yeah, he fed a lot into the narrative, too. I like this take right here. The WNBA is an unpopular league because it's a dirty league. Not physical, dirty. The shit needs to be cleaned up. Why? There isn't enough talent in the league to be a dirty league. So we're spot on here. I mean, literally spot on. The NBA figured it out 35.
The host's own praise for Clark here, calling her a hybrid of Steph Curry, Larry Bird, and Michael Jordan's branding, reflects his genuine view of her commercial and on-court significance. And it's worth noting this specific point isn't really in conflict with anything Bird herself has said publicly about Clark's talent and importance to the league.
This is ridiculous. All right? None of this is fake. We didn't make up, Angel Reese clotheslining Caitlin Clark or Kennedy Carter with the forearm shiver, WWE style. By the way, calling Caitlin Clark a bitch while doing it. The
host's pushback that DeShields, Carter, and the Marina Mabrey shove weren't just basketball plays is a fair, substantive disagreement to raise, though it's worth being precise that Bird's actual quoted comments were about the broader players hate Clark narrative's origin, not a direct denial that these specific incidents occurred.
Dillon Brooks and Draymond Green, and it's not to call them out in any specific way other than they've had moments with players. And yet when they do something, it's not the entire league hates the player that they happen to have a thing with. All right. So I just want to start with that. So where I've 100% landed is that once Diana's comments went viral, it led to the Twitter trolls and bots taking over. And what started there was this narrative of petty, jealous players hating on Caitlin. That's really what happened. That's where it started, that we must just dislike her, that we look at her.
The professional wrestling comparisons are the host's own colorful commentary style, real opinion delivered with real flair, even if the underlying comparison to specific 1980s wrestling moves is more rhetorical flourish than literal argument.
No basketball, all right? There's physical, and then there's whatever in the hell that is. It looks a lot like assault to a lot of different people. Let's listen.
It started. You know, in some ways, it started with me and Diana in our show getting interviewed by Scott Van Pelt, and Diana having, you know, her response, which if you go back and watch it, and I don't mean to split hairs here, but it is just another moment where things get taken